I'm just trying to remember the layout of the Sims house that I'm building. Okay, you have to let me know in the comments. I'm very proud of this next, this room build. I think it's quite cute. But the room that I was just building before this was her bedroom. I think it was her bedroom. So either her or her brother's bedroom. When you share a build to the forum or whatever it's called, if you upload it, if you move it using cheats, because I use the move objects cheat, does it shift back into place? I don't download a lot of houses to play very often. I just use my own. So does it like shift back into the grid? You also see that I don't play with the grid because I don't like it very much. It just bothers me. I think it's just too messy. If you press G on the keyboard, it should get rid of the whatever, the grid. Right now I'm definitely supposed to be doing homework, but I don't really want to, so instead I'm just watching over the video while I record this audio on my phone. Pardon all the creaks you hear, that's just my chair. Also, I listened back to the first clip of audio that I recorded, and I sound so much more feminine in recordings. Also, that little cupcake painting, I had 4 on my wall that were really similar to that, and when I saw it in The Sims, I was like, oh my god, I haven't thought of those paintings in years, because I haven't moved houses, but I moved from my room to my brother's old room, because my brother moved into the basement. We never used the basement anyway, so it just worked better. My mom actually made these 4 matching paintings of these 4 different cupcakes, and they were so cute. And I had them up on my wall for forever, but I took them down as I got older, because it just didn't really fit my style anymore, so. This was how I wanted my childhood bedroom to look. I am a guy, so it's a little bit, I don't know, not jarring, but my style has changed drastically. I have a very colorful room still, with lots of reds and greens and other colors. I don't need to list them all for you. I have this one, like, Halloween decoration on my wall that I got matching ones with my friend, and I love it dearly. I think his name is Johnny McGill. Like Jimmy McGill, but Johnny. It was based after this inside joke we had together, which was fun. I haven't hung out with them in a while. I miss them. Here I am going through, like, as many paintings or pictures as I could. Because I liked those portrait ones, like the family portrait ones. I was hard-pressed to remember what my grandma's room looked like, because I barely went in there. I mean, there was no reason to, you know? Like, she was old-fashioned in the sense where, you know, your room wasn't really a place where you spent time. You spent time in the living room, you spent time, you know, sitting anywhere else. It wasn't a place to hang out, which was super common. I would say, like, before the invention of, like, televisions, I think it was more common, or sorry, like, before the popularity of televisions and, like, personal televisions in your room, because a lot of adults now have TVs in their room, just because that's, like, since they've become more of a commodity. And I'm just talking out of my ass here, so don't take everything I say with, like, a grain of salt. I'm just stream of consciousness, pretty much. I don't know why that reminds me of Onision. Have you read Onision's books? I ask like you can answer me. They're so absurd. They're just... I want to write a book where basically the main character is like Onision, but it's like a satire of Onision, because it seems genuinely challenging. Because being able to convey his ideas and his thoughts seems like an endless struggle, because he's just such an interesting guy. Such a weird little man. I was so invested in, not necessarily Onision drama, but Kappa Kaiju and Strange Aeons. did book reviews on his books. I think he's got a new one coming out that Strange Aeons, or new one that already came out that Strange Aeons did a review on, or is doing a review on, I can't remember. It's an autobiography, which is a choice, definitely, but his other ones, where all the main characters were just variations of his own name, it's so not subtle that they're all just, I think Crimson Rouge called them Gary Lou's or something, which is Mary Sue, but for guys. I don't know, I think you could just call them Mary Sue's. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it's so... he writes the same way that I would write when I was 12. I did a lot of stuff when I was 12, and none of it was good. I was creatively inspired, but not so skilled. 12 was a weird age for me. 12, 13, maybe the worst years of most people's life. And this is coming from someone who has had some tough couple of years recently. Everyone has, it's COVID, but I had to deal with a chronic illness, getting diagnosed with a chronic illness. But still, I would rather go through that again than be 13 again. Because I went through so much more emotional turmoil being 13 than I did being chronically ill. I'm tired. I'm supposed to be doing science homework right now. It's Trematoda, whatever that is. It's a class of something. Worms, I think. We have to do a topic on worms, and I hate worms. They really, really scare me. Okay, not scare me, but they just gross me out. They're just so... ugh. The appearance of them, the everything of them. But I have a friend who loves worms. They want to be a marine biologist, and so their favorite animals are like sponges and worms. And I'm like, okay, please choose a normal one, like cat? Or if you want to be out there, I don't know, echidna. My favorite animal is the armadillo, because they're really cute. Have you ever seen fairy armadillos? You have to look up pink fairy armadillos. They are the cutest things I've ever seen. I don't know why I added a Christmas tree, but I spent a lot of Christmases at my grandma's house. So whenever I think of her house, I generally think of Christmas, you know? She also had this old CRT TV that if you turned it off and put your hand up close to it, it would be all zappy and cool. I grew up with those TVs, but I know a lot of people didn't. Which was... like, there's a lot of people my age who I bring up CRT TVs and they're like, what? And I'm like, you know, the zappy ones. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, they weren't old when we were kids. It's like, the flat screen TVs weren't, you know, mainstream exactly. At least I don't think. I remember watching, like, Sunday morning cartoons on them a lot. But at the with one story that I tell to a lot of people is, I remember I was watching TV, and I decided that it was a good idea to, I would swing my legs over the back of the couch, and I would have my head, I was essentially sitting on the couch upside down. I would have my head near the floor. I'd still be like sitting on the couch technically, but my like thighs would be against the back pillows. Just setting the scene. And I decided that in this position, it would be a great idea to try and drink a glass of milk. I don't have to tell you that it was not a good idea. It was not the great idea that I thought it was. I ended up waterboarding myself with milk. I tried terraforming here, and I'm so bad at terraforming. Like, laughably bad. I give up immediately. My grandma had this, like this multi-level, backyard. Good lord. I could have achieved the effect with a basement. If I had a basement and then raised up, and whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't want to bother doing that anyways, so whatever. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, I ended up waterboarding myself with milk. Cause I'm a genius. And I I was coughing so hard, and my mom came into the room and she's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And she just like, she looked at me and she just turned around and she left. Now the room that we used to have our TV in, I kind of miss that old TV. I don't know why, but the room we used to have our TV in is now, now we've got my drum kit in there, and we've got my drum kit, my piano, and a couple of my brother's guitars, and bookshelves. It's a pretty small room, but, you know, everything fits well, so. This really looks nothing like the front of my grandma's house, except for the actual layout. I couldn't find a, not a wallpaper, but, yeah, I guess a wallpaper, that looked anything like it, because it was very German Victorian-esque, not actually, but, like, I don't know how to describe it. But I always really liked the house, and I was disappointed when they didn't have a wall like that in The Sims. Because I just thought it was so cute, you know. I'm getting close to the big reveal. Yes, this pretty much is the big reveal. I think I changed up some stuff, and yeah, you can see in the little sitting area that I keep leaning towards a mid-century modern style house, because I just think that they're so cute. Like, it's such an attractive style of house. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's all I've got. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.